Hello, what's up everybody? It's time for more Mordor. This is Mithril Zenith. Ooh boy. You're looking at that right. Level 154 Earthshaker. I've been leveling my sorcerer just a little bit. I am now 43 levels higher than my previous highest class, which was Paladin. I'm almost at 600 hit points. And oh boy, stuff has been happening. So, I forget what I've done since last time. Level 77 wizard, so I can use spheres like this thing, the Sphere of Doom. I could have already used that because of mage, but yeah, there's a couple interesting spheres to think about. I've been tearing through my white sashes like crazy. Like if you check my bank, you will notice that I only have one left in the bank. They're reaching the point in the dungeon where they're not quite as useful anymore, so I'm just like using them whenever I have the chance against enemies that they'll be decent against. I upgraded my weapon finally. I'm not using a dagger anymore. A Mithril Shod staff. I found one of these in level 7, and it had a 0.2 higher damage mod, so I'm using it. What else do I have? Elven Bracers. Still just a Girdle of Strength. Haven't found anything better yet. An Amulet of Infravision, which gives me a point of Constitution, as well as See Invisible. Master's Gloves, which give 2 Strength. Still just Curboli Armor. Cloak of Invisibility. Boots of Evading. I put on a Magician's Cap. Okay, that's the Sphere of Doom again. And I have a Ring of Death. I don't want a Ring of Death. I want my Ring of Frost. But my Ring of Frost got destroyed by a slime trap when I wasn't paying attention. And the shop didn't have any more Rings of Frost left. So that's bad. That sucks. But also you may notice a couple interesting things in my bank. I've been stacking my Dust of Healing and Scroll of Spells and that type of stuff. Gem of Healing up to 55. I have a Sphere of Dislocation pretty well. There's my Mithril Dagger. Gauntlets of Power. I found these puppies in the dungeon. So those will be nice. And then I found, where is it? Did I sell it? I don't think I sold it. Oh, here it is, right below. A Mithril Helmet. Unfortunately, mage jobs can't use it. But if I ever switch back to Paladin, this will be wonderful. +1 int, +1 whiz, 18 defense. Yeah, compare that to the adamantite helmet I was using. 6 more defense, 3 more attack, and a point of wisdom, which is like half point of both. Pretty good stuff. Oh, and I'm 4/5 of the way to 1,000,000,000 gold. And I've been quested to kill an imp. And every level's been taking over 100,000 experience at this point. So without further ado, let's get into it. I've been actually casting mental resistance on myself because I noticed that my Elven Mind resistance is only at 50. And that's why the sprites casting Summon Shade were dealing 20 to 30 damage a pop. Yeah, that was annoying. And especially when they're just on the edge of me one-shotting them, so if I get a low roll, I don't one-shot them. Yeah, that was causing some issues. So I decided to just start popping mind res. Figured that'd be better. Anyway, as you can see by my buffers screen, acid spray's down to 6. It used to be 8, now it's just 6. I think 6 might be the minimum. I've leveled like another, another dozen, several dozen levels at least, maybe. I've leveled a lot since hitting 6, and it hasn't gone down to 5, so I think that 6 is probably... Where the heck am I going? I need to go down to a deeper floor to find imps. You say, I think 6 is the minimum casting, so I'm going to leave Leprosy on because... While 6 is pretty low, 4 is... Like, Leprosy is doing enough damage to kill most things that I want it to, and for a cost of 4, that's like some of the best you can get. I've noticed that, you know, occasionally I'll pop out the... Oh man, those dwarves wanted to join. Occasionally I'll pop out the spells like fire and cold. But mostly I've been sticking with the element class spells. That's leprosy, acid spray, paralyzing death. They're just good. They're just so good. Okay. Well, where'd the teleporter take me? What? I'm all the way down here. That's weird. Freaking heck! I hate, like, that didn't deal much damage to me, but I still hate the 1 in 20 chance of failing to walk over a pit when you're levitating. Yep, so now that I've teleported down here, it's just gonna be walking around. I'm hit at the point where I'm seriously considering stopping what I'm doing. My mad dash through... well, I haven't seriously considered it yet. I'm half considering stopping my mad dash through Sorcerer and just slowing down and then coming back and leveling up Scavenger again because Night Dragons want to join. They'll last like 2 seconds. Coming back and leveling Scavenger just for the extra, and there's my quest. Yeah, let's kill the dragons anyway, get some money. It's 1,000,000 gold, might as well. 2 rings! Not 1, but 2 rings. If that isn't... If one of those isn't a spell ring, I will be sorely disappointed. And Medusa? Medusa's here, but... 368! My goodness, that is the highest number that I've... Oh, it didn't even tell me when my things died. 368's the highest number that I've seen, that I've cast and not killed with. Like, at this point, Medusa's just my damage meter. I think I've one-shot her once, but at that point she probably just had a really low hit point roll. 368. I mean, I could probably deal more with, what spells could I deal more with? Is there a higher level element than Paralyzing Death? No, that's the highest element. Flesh of Stone technically deals more damage, but it's a kill or nothing, so it's not really that helpful. And everything else I don't think is Sorcerer, so... So 50-31 compared to, what's this? 10-51. I think that means it's low base but high int mod, but I could be getting that backwards. Well, either way, I've finally started being comfortable just being like, oh, see this? See type spell and then cast the spell just from that hotkey menu. I'm not always perfect, I don't always get it the first round I need it, but it's starting to become... I'm starting to get used to at least how many letters I need for each spell, like Pillar of Fire, P-I-L. Dazzle, D-A-Z. Just those little shortcuts, and then I'm able to cast the spell fairly quickly and fairly reliably without having to take up a slot on my buffer spot. Meaning I can use my buffer slots, for items in my inventory, which I can't just see and type in a thing for. Now I can just have it selected in my item slot and then press a button to bring that, like just press the button to cast it, like press enter. But I don't always have that available. Is it enter? Oh, yeah, U. It would be U, okay. But the item slots can always become really... They can move around a bit, especially if I'm accidentally pressing like the E key or something. Yeah, that just throws me off a lot. If there's one thing about going over to the Medusa and casting Paralyzing Death, is that Paralyzing Death still costs 22, which means it's still eating into my spell points a fair bit. Yeah. Anyway, so part of me has always wanted, really, just over time, but is finding time now, to do like Mordor Mondays, just like once a week, just record. I don't think I'll be consistently once a week, but based on how my schedule's panning out, Monday afternoons, I have like 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day that I'm not doing anything with. It's like the one day I have to record a decent amount. I mean, I do have more time, technically, Tuesday mornings and Thursday evenings, but it's Monday in the middle of the day. No one's gonna be here. I have it all to myself. And plus, I like a little alliteration, and Mordor Monday just sounds... It just rolls off the tongue, you know? Yeah, I've been grinding in this game a lot more, especially recently. Please tell me that didn't take anything I was wearing. Doesn't appear to be the case. Good. I always come down here now. Like, one of the little secrets I've noticed about level 7. Speaking of which, I'm not sure if I've even talked about level 7 that much in this series. So first of all, this giant lake in the middle here is full of monsters that are fairly weak to leprosy and really weak to Pillar of Fire. So it's a perfect leveling spot, especially since they generally come in groups. The queues come in squads of 3 groups of like up to 1 to 4, and the ever find giant crocodiles, they show up in decent sized groups. So you have tiger sharks, which teleporter. Oh wow, that was not bad. Just took me back to the opening of the lake. Yeah, so you have the queues, which come in groups of 3, or just a single one, or 3 groups of 1 to 4. You have the crocodiles, which come in 4 groups of generally like 3 to 6 each. Then you have the tiger sharks, which come in not enough spell points. Oh wow, that's a problem. Time to crest our way out of here. And the tiger sharks, which die to a white sash cast of summon shade, and come in 2 to 4 groups of 2 to 3 each. Yeah, so that's what I've been using my white sashes on. And honestly, it's been going pretty well. I've been able to level decently fast. It's not the most glamorous levels, but I've still been picking up some items because occasionally, I'll get some deep dropping items. Or not exactly deep, but occasionally I'll get some decent items from the queues, especially if I fight Q Nardanas with the chest. Or that one spot in the lake where I fought the blue peligons and normal peligons. That'll occasionally have gold peligons there. And they can drop some decent items. And also, when the blue and red peligons bunch up together, they can drop a lot of gold. Like, if they're both big packs and they have a chest, I've gotten like 7 million gold from that group once. That's a decent chunk of change right there. Oh shoot, what did I just... Did I just go 19? I meant 29. Amulet. This is another Infravision. That's good. I think these are bracers of strength. Yep. Deep dropping items become impossible to identify right away. More rings of levitation. And that's a ring of Myrn. Shoot. What did I just... Did I seriously sell my... I sold my cape of invisibility. I sold my cloak. And it's the only good cloak of invisibility that... What the... I just bought a neutral one. Things are happening. Things are happening. I'm doing great, guys. I didn't get a quest, did I? No, I didn't. However, because of that shenanigans, that cost me an extra, like, 2 million. Whatever. One step at a time, we keep going on. Oh, come on. Just get out of my way, please. I used to be excited to see just a group of slaves for free XP. Now that I'm high enough level, that's so insignificant that it's not even worth my time. So I've honestly been thinking, it's like, can I beat the final boss with this character? Just going solo. And I guess we'll find out, is what I'm going to say to that. I don't think it's going to be impossible, but it might just be down to me just dragging along a full, like set of many uses, like tomes of spells and gems of healing and elixirs of every kind, and just surviving on consumable healing items to get me there. I honestly think that it should be possible. It might take a while, but it should be possible. Wow, this pawn didn't really have much for me, did it? One of those groups were just single instance monsters. Now, I'm not sure if I need to be casting all the resistances that I'm casting on myself. Is it stone, paralysis, drain, acid, and mental? And then feather essence. Like, feather essence I need. Oh shoot, what am I doing with my life? I just cast leprosy on green oozes. That's not gonna do anything. Yeah, I don't think I really need to be casting all of these. But, you know, they say better safe than sorry. And the status resistances are really important. That's, you know, stone, paralysis, drain. Acid resistance. If I don't cast acid resistance and I run up against a slime, I will take so much damage. Plus there are some enemies, like Medusa, if I choose to fight her, that cast acid spray, which deals a ton of damage if you don't have resistance. Feather essence is out of the question. I'm fighting water monsters. Oh! Okay then. I live here now. The teleporter put me into a box. The teleporter put me in the box. Oh, this is the demonist's lair. Kind of. This is one of the few places on the map which you can't access if you don't have some sort of movement spell, like Ethereal Portal. If I didn't have Ethereal Portal, I'd be trapped here until I died. That was a mean teleport trap. Ooh, 3 Grey Panthers want to join. Sure. Warlocks. Casting Static Mesh. Casting Hailstorm. Casting Hailstorm. I am so glad for all of my resistances. I think that killed all the Pandren companions I had. I'm just gonna buffer this. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm gonna buffer Hailstorm. Not buffer, but have it up. Knew it! I freaking knew it. Because Astral Demons... Ooh, shield, nice. Astral Demons don't... What am I trying to say? I don't know exactly what all they're immune to, but I know they're immune to both disease and acids. And those are the other high damage spells that I have. So I can't really do much unless I cast something different. And that's where the Ring of Frost has been coming in handy, is whenever I find just random astral demons, I can pelt them with a hailstorm for free. Unfortunately, that's not really the case anymore since I don't have the ring anymore. And so because of that, I've had to learn how to cast it manually. And I don't know if I've tried fire spells, but I don't think they're that effective. Shaman Moonsate, Shuman Moonsate, whatever. Die, please. Boom, boom, boom. These things have a really high drain chance. Why am I fighting these? Why am I fighting these? Acid spray, please. Especially because I am now out of crest uses, too. Okay, there we go. Dead. Speaking of crests, 3 houses looks good. Like, I don't usually get super hype for video games anymore. Like, I buy so few new games in a year that I don't usually get, like, super hype for them. But my goodness, if there's a game that I was going to get, like, on release, if there's a game that I am going to get on release, it's 3 houses. 3 houses looks so interesting. I hope that it's good. I think it's going to be enjoyable at the very least. Like I found Fates enjoyable, Fire Emblem Fates. I found that enjoyable. I found it kind of stupid at points, and I found it not really my favorite in the series. If anything, it's borderline my least favorite in the series, but that doesn't mean it's an awful game. It just means it's like a 6 or 7 out of 10 compared to everything else. That's how highly I hold that series in regard, or at least that's how much I enjoy it. Ooh, what? Okay, how much does it take to realign? 12 million to realign? No thanks. It's cheaper just to sell that and then buy the good one later, I think. Because I am fast approaching... I am very quickly approaching the point where I will be able to use the Mystic Shield. And while not a huge bonus, it's still a slot that I otherwise wouldn't have anything in. I guess it would have been cheaper just to realign. Oh well. Yeah, 167. And I'm at almost 157, so just 11 more levels and I'll have that Mystic Shield. Like I said, it's not fantastic. It's 9 extra points of defense and it's free magic res, which boosts my magic res from 80 up to 90. Ooh, wow. But it's still a best-in-slot item because no other items can go in that slot as a mage. So I might as well use it when I have it, if I can. Yeah. I think that's something that I like about this game and something that's really well balanced about it, well designed, is that the rate at which you get experience. Sure, the game is a grind. I'm not gonna say it's not. This game is literally just an endless grinder. But the rate at which you gain experience just feels right. Like, sure, it starts getting slow at the levels in which you can start going down. And it really pushes you to be like, okay, I'm only getting enough experience to cap out every run. Like, with my character right now, for instance, larger parties have different balances, but with my solo character right now, I am getting, on average, enough experience per run to get one full level with some variance based on enemy size. Like, this time I'm fighting larger groups, I'm disarming traps instead of triggering them, so that's going to get my experience growth to be a decent amount faster. Depending on the monsters I fight, I may get more or less, but I'm getting a decent amount of experience this run compared to the other two I went. But each one I'm getting around 100,000-ish, which is about a full level. I could take detours, stay in the dungeon longer, get more experience, that sort of thing. And if I do that, I will be getting more. But it takes a lot of effort for me to double pin myself, which is, well, fully pin. It takes a lot of effort for me to go from, like, barely making a level after pin to pinning myself next at this level. And that's with the route that I'm taking through floor 7, which is the most experience for my time, as far as I've found. There might be better, who knows. But right now, at this point, this is the best experience I can find. And at this level, with what I'm finding, I'm starting to get items which I can barely use because of my level. Which tells me, naturally, in both ways, both in experience per run and items that I'm getting, quality of items, that this is the place I should be, that this is where I should be leveling. Because I'm getting items I can use right away without having to level up more, and I'm also getting experience such that I don't have to, like, circle around for a second pass just to get a level up. Usually. I'm just a little bit faster than the respawn right now. Like, on one hand, thank freaking goodness for the fast respawn bug that I'm having. On the other hand, like, I'm basically in step with my faster respawn. So, I feel like it's... I feel like this is how the game should have been from the start, but that's just me. That's just me having this bug. And I am out of crest uses now, so that's great. Like, Pillar of Fire is probably the best crest spell. That's the best attacking crest spell, I should say. Please tell me that didn't break anything. Thought it was a teleporter. Turns out it was a slime. Okay, I haven't lost anything. Good. But yeah, I have... Yeah, I'm getting, you know, mithril items, and I'm the level just perfectly to use mithril items. I'm getting experience at about the rate I need it to level up at. But I'm also hitting a point that, you know, I'm still taking damage, but I'm taking less and less over time. So I feel the need to go deeper. I feel the need to constantly challenge myself, to constantly push myself. And I feel like this is really the core experience of Mordor, being like, okay, I'm grinding, I'm leveling up, I'm doing good, but I'm always feeling that kind of itch, that desire to just go a little bit deeper. Just to, you know, dig a little bit more greedy, a little bit more deeply. And that right there captures the essence of why I still play Mordor to this day. It's, in a lot of ways, a sandbox. You can play however you want, with whatever character types and parties you want. You don't have to... Like, because the dungeon respawns, and it respawns so quickly, you don't have to, like, clear out all of level 1 before you go to level 2, clear out all of level 2 before you go to level 3. It's not like there's quests, per se. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have walked in there. Let's show off this ring. You killed a lot. Zebrats are an enemy type that, until, like... Oh, freaking Zebrats. Why did I walk into the Zebrat lair? Oh well, let me show off Word of Death. Yeah. And sometimes you just wander, and you just start going off in places that you know you shouldn't be. And if I'm gonna be wandering, I should really wander in the direction of the Twisted Elf, so I can have a chance at getting a Ring of Frost. That's honestly what I should do. I don't have spell points for it, though. And I don't quite guaranteed one-shot these level 5-ish monsters. Oh, especially when they're like higher defense or higher hit points, things like rock elves or dwarves. It's really hard for me to one-shot them, even with my Mithril Shod Staff. I'm just gonna not aggro these guys. The slimes aren't worth it. They don't have money. They're worth only decent experience, and they hit hard, and they can ruin items. Yeah, and now I'm showing off. If I tried not to use spells, I would die. Very quickly. Very quickly would I die. And then there's magic immunes like Numenogs and Wandering Corpses. They're just there. They're frustrating to deal with. They're just there. I'm trying to save my spells in case I need to cast Charm of Opening on the Twisted Elf's chest, if it even spawns with one, if a Twisted Elf even spawns. Excuse me. But then, yeah, you start getting a feel of, like, which monsters are where. Like, this is an insect spawner room. That right there was an elemental spawner room. And yeah, this is, like, you know, really common odds to spawn the Twisted Elf, but not always. This teleporter takes me back up here. Which at this point I'm just going in out of habit. Because my previous pathway was just to take the lower path through 4, kill the Twisted Dwarf. Not the Twisted Dwarf, kill the Dwarf Lord, come up through here, kill the Twisted Elf, pop down, kill Medusa, come back, kill the Twisted Elf again, come back, kill the Dwarven Lord again, then go home. That was my old path. And then when that stopped giving me enough experience to level up, I started taking the teleporter chain, like the direct path from 3 to 4, the teleporter chain from 4 to 6, 6, clear the lake, go to 7, clear the lake on 7, come back around, and then maybe hit up the Twisted Elf on my way back up. But still take my way up through the through floor 6, because then I can just take the direct staircase teleporter sequence instead of having to fight through a ton of rooms that I didn't clear before. Because floor 5, and especially floor 4, respawns so quickly that even though I'm guaranteed to have to fight a couple monsters, I can just run from them if I'm low on spells. And in the lower path, I'd be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rooms. Or in this, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 encounters instead. 14 encounters on floor 4 compared to 5 encounters on floor 4. And this one also has this encounter right here, which has a fairly common odds of being a dragon encounter, which is really good money. It's not, like, it's not the dragons in the lake, which can drop upwards of, like, you know, multi-millions of gold in a single encounter, but it's still pretty decent. There we go, that's Dazzle. That's how I cast the spell I wanted to cast, and it only takes 3 spell points, so I can cast it twice. Perfect. And yes, this path that I'm taking is aging me slightly with every trip. Sometimes I can get enough. Sometimes I finish it with enough spell points to cast healing. Oftentimes I don't. But I don't always take massive damage. And even the damage I have taken, so what, half my health? That'll only age me by 2 weeks. Yeah, see, 2 weeks in a day. So I feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident taking this path than I otherwise would, especially because I have the equipment now to overcome these weaknesses of it. And occasionally I'll just grab a potion of youth. Oh shoot! I meant to press info, not sell. Oh well. Too bad. Had 9 in store. Oh well. I'm only 25 right now. Doesn't really bother me. Doesn't really matter too much. Didn't get any quests, did I? No. Yeah, it's been about 40 minutes. I do have a class I need to prep for. I've been super busy. But it feels good to record again. Feels good to be back. Feels good to keep playing Mordor. Wanted to show off, things I've gotten, things that have happened to me. Wanted to show off my current leveling route. If I get anything new, or if the leveling route changes, then I'll make note of that later. But until then, this is Mithril Zenith signing out. Thanks for watching, everybody.